Welcome back to the Real South Africa. We have an amazing video for you. Of course, like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys on the inside. All right, everybody. This is Mark Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. And I'm glad you guys are with us on this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Y'all know this is YouTube, and that's how we get the word out to other people. People who haven't been watching, they'll get a little notification, say, hey, there's this cool video. People kind of like it. You probably need to go ahead and get involved, with this video. So that's why we want you guys to like and subscribe. But so today we're going to have a short conversation with a brother who came to South Africa before, enjoyed himself while he was here. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then at some point he was like, you know what, I ain't doing nothing else better. Let me go ahead and apply for my visa. And we're going to get into that because we assisted him with his visa process as well. And just go through the ins and outs and, just whatever. But at the end of the day, he went through a proper system, which, we have a really good connection or a contract. Let's go with that, with a company here based in South Africa. Now, let me dispel one of the myths right now, because we get people that call us and they get here and they're like, okay, now I'm here. Where do I go pick up my visa? Like their resident visa. And there's different visas. Of course, there's one where you come as a tourist, they call that a visitor's visa. And then there's everything else is some levels of a residence visa. So they're making it, for some odd reason, they're thinking that they can just come to South Africa. There's an office somewhere you can just pop in, get your visa and move on. Keep in mind, we do have a lot of conversations with a lot of people. Some of the things we hear are like, where'd you hear that from? Sometimes they don't want to say where they heard it from, but I got a good idea where they heard it from. And so then they end up saying, okay, well, I really do want to, spend time in South Africa properly. I might want to move there or spend a lot more time than just the visitor visa offers. So what do I do? Well, people contact us because, like I said, we're based in South Africa. We're here every day. We're not coming back and forth. We're not been here for a year or so and trying to still figure out the ins and outs of South Africa. We actually live here. And so people contact us to engage, in different arenas. And then we decide, what's the best. We have a conversation to determine, what's the best services that we can put our name behind, and that's what we do. And then once I'm convinced that they understand what's going on, because obviously I've been through the process before, many others have been through the process before with us, and at this point all we want to do is give people the opportunity, if they think South Africa might be something for them, then give them a proper opportunity to be coming here on a regular basis and or living here. I think some people see us here and they're like, oh, you guys just live here. And yes, but we went through the same process that we're talking about. So we want you guys to be successful. And then, of course, we're going to talk to our guest, and he's going to tell you the same thing. He came on a trip, and I think it changed his viewpoint. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on Mr. Eddie Ives from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hey, Eddie, what's up?
Hey, Mark, how goes it? How goes it? Hello to you and Natasha there out there in sunny South Africa.
It is sunny. Today's a nice day, actually.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
Yeah. So Eddie, so now we'll be going to, everybody, we're just going to be talking. So you just happen to be hearing what's going on. So check this out. So now, before you even came to South Africa, before all that, were you interested in getting a visa?
Actually, I was. Yeah.
Okay. Talk to us.
I had started, I was considering getting residency in Panama, Central America.
Okay.
And, I had started a process there. I started gathering up some of the paperwork there. And my mother was living at the time. She was like 90 years old. So I went there. That was like a 6-hour flight, back to Philly, where I'm from. So I wasn't going that far. And I started that process. And I visited Panama, and I got out there and felt that heat and humidity, and I said, I don't know if this is the place for me. But anyway, during the period, Africa used to be on my bucket list some years ago when I was working. And during that time, my mother passed. So I said, let me go ahead and stretch out a little further and get out to Africa. So, of course, I came on your real estate tour, and it was fascinating. And said, first of all, I said, well, I got to get something there. I said, I'm not passing up this opportunity. And so while I was sitting around waiting for everything to be put together, going through the summer and all that, I was twiddling my thumbs, and I said, let me just go ahead and apply for the visa. And so I saw live that you and Latasha had, and towards the end of it, you were saying that y'all was going to offer that service again, with a company that could provide help, assistance, with getting the visa. So, I got the information from that, and I got right in touch with them, and I started the process because I was ready, So,
Okay. So people need to understand that you received your retired person's visa. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
So that's a good thing. So now you can just come and go as much as you want. You can stay as long as you want. As a retired person's on that visa, you could do a lot of things within the country that you couldn't do before. So it kind of opened up a lot of things for you. You can just come in and set up shop. Yeah,
absolutely. Something that people need to know too. Well, when I looked at some of the criteria, I said I might be able to swing the permanent residence visa. And I talked to your consultant, and they were saying, well, first of all, that takes about a year and a half. And they said it's a process. You usually have to end up going to court and all kinds of stuff. And, I'm retired, and she was saying, I hear a lot of countries say that's the easiest visa to get, possibly. But, she suggested that I start with that, and that's where I went. I saw a guy on YouTube early this week, the beginning of the week. He's a British guy, young fella. And he tried to get a permanent visa. He said he started in January, and he's still waiting to hear something from him.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, we at the beginning of October. And I guess he don't know what might be waiting for him, but from your consultant, I got a pretty good idea, what it would take for him to get that permanent visa. And, so I went with the retirement visa, and it was a quest. So
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Well, to start out, they sent me after the consultant. I was put in touch with the company, right? And of course, I paid my fee, and we started the process. And first thing, they sent me some stuff that I would need to gather up. So that's what I say. I felt like I was on one of these in a fantasy movie, where they send you out on the quest. You got to go find this scroll in the cave somewhere and go out to the petrified forest and get this magic stone, the magic sword, and fight with a dragon and all kinds of stuff. And I know dealing with, the administration here and stuff, I know it was going to be a problem getting stuff from certain agencies, let me say. But anyway, I started, the first thing they sent me, I needed to get a medical report, right? So I'm thinking I just go to the doctor and get a physical, and that's it. I carry this form that they emailed me, and I take it to my doctor's office, and they say, oh, no, you got to get a tuberculosis test, so they punched a hole in me and got some blood, then they sent that off, and you have to get an FBI report, right? And with that, you have to go get fingerprinted. And then the FBI sends you, the results back. And I had been through that before, and went in the Panama situation. And when I got that FBI report back in that situation, I had with some groups I'm in Panama. So the woman that runs the group, she called it a DINK. in your FBI report. So I had a dink in my FBI report that I had to expunge, you know. But people need to know that, because for instance, like she just put out a newsletter last week. If you got a misdemeanor on your FBI report, Panama is not going to let you in. You know, you got to, I guess you got to work it out with a lawyer, and you might be able to work it out. But that's one of the things they look for, you know, because over the years I had got jobs, I had a concealed carry and all that kind of stuff with my regular state reports and stuff. But when I send those fingerprints in, you know, the FBI had some stuff I had to get expunged out of there. So that wasn't a problem. And I guess for any visa, you're going to have to get that. You're going to have to send your fingerprints in. Yeah, and you got to know where to get it. You know, it used to be an immigration office here in town, and they moved way across town somewhere, but it was always a truck out there that took passport photos, did fingerprinting and all that stuff, and they were still there. And I dealt with them in that Panama situation. So I went back there, got my fingerprints again, and I sat in the truck with the woman for about 40 minutes. We just talking and chopping it up. And she did everything while I was there, because once you send that in, you have to get in touch with the FBI, tell them you sending in this fingerprint card and all that. So she did everything while we were sitting there talking. She got my tracking number and all that stuff, you know, something I had done before myself. But so all that was done, the fingerprints, the medical, there's information you have to give about yourself, your passport number, and all kinds of stuff. So during the process, they had set me up with an interview in New York, right? The company that I was dealing with, the help with the passport. I mean, help with the visa. So anyway, I'm thinking that I'm going to be going to Washington, D.C., to the South African embassy, and I find out I got to go to New York with all this stuff. I said, oh man, I hate going to New York.
everything is based off where you live. That's
right. So
I mean, Philly was pretty close to DC, but it's a little bit closer to New York.
Yeah, I figured DC, where I had some people that could move me around, you know, if I had to get down to DC and get to the embassy and all that. But the New York adventure, that worked out. But before that, I had gathered up everything. I was running around. I had a printer sitting in the box that I had never unboxed for about a year. So all during this process, I've been doing stuff where I needed a printer, right? So I had my printer going, and I took care of everything, and I started this process with the visa with my printer. But my printer crapped out on me, right? I got a light that's not explained. You got all these lights that explain what's wrong on your printer, but there's one light sitting there blinking, and it don't have no indication of what it is. I couldn't get the printer working. And I was using my sister brother-in-law's printer during the process too. And their printer stopped recognizing my phone. Right? So I started doing stuff I used to do. It's like sending, you can send whatever's in your phone to Staples. And
you went there.
I go print it out. But the application form that I had to take to the consulate in New York, that thing was 69 pages that I needed to print out, right? And I had no printer, right? And Staples was charging like $1.68 a copy, right? So I said, oh, Lord, how mercy. So I got in touch with, the company, and they sent me the whole 69 pages as a courtesy. I said, oh, wonderful. They DHL'd it to me.
Sometimes you need help.
Oh, yeah. And I said, man, that was wonderful, because that was going to be a headache. My sister told me I could go to the library and do it. You know, I don't know what it cost, but that was a big help. And I know that cost money, because I sent some papers to South Africa, and it cost me like $137 to send about 6 copies, you know. So things like that, people need to know if they're not aware of, and they face it, you know, that's what things cost. But I got, during the process, they had me set up for one appointment in New York, and I'm thinking, and I hadn't heard from the agency, right, that I was working with for the visa. And I got in touch with them and said, do I still have this appointment? And they said, no, it wasn't really set up yet, you know. And then I even emailed y'all.
I remember.
letting y'all know what was going on. I said, what's up with these people, you know?
Yeah.
And then they put somebody on it, and this guy was calling me every day.
there was a, and see, that's the good thing about working with us, because there was an email that I can send.
Right.
Like, you alerted me what was going on.
Yeah.
You're not the first person, but I put a little fire behind it. And then, like you said, now they're emailing you every day.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that help doing your visa.
Right. I could tell somebody got on them, because they was on me. You know, they was making sure everything was going properly. But then I found out I needed all this stuff. So I was saying, how could I have an appointment and I still need all this extra stuff? They got me. I had to go get you have to send a colored picture of the information page in your passport, and that's got to be notarized. And then when I was in South Africa last year, they want a notarized copy of that stamp when you visited South Africa. Right? I had to get all that done. And I found a notary. And one good thing about South Africa's visa process, you don't have to get your stuff apostille, they call it. That's where you have to, somebody has to certify everything that you sending in. Yeah. And I found this notary that operates out of his house, and he has a apostille hookup, you know, at the state capitol. And I said, that's great to know. So in South Africa, they don't ask for that, you know, that apostille. So that was great. But I got everything together. They sent me this package, and the package, the application was beautiful, because they had everything printed out, all your information you had been sending them.
That helps, don't it?
Yeah, it's all printed out, professionally done. They even had a couple paragraphs in there that it's like me saying, you know, why I went to visa, and, you know, why I want to, you know, come to South Africa. And all that was printed out, and everything was done nice, professionally. And the main reason I got this done was, well, I went through this company that y'all work with, is because I didn't want no hassles. Right, I didn't want to be running into this and running into that, and not knowing. Because when I went to that interview, people was leaving. You know, people was there, but you're not gonna have everything you need. You know, that's what
they were hustling. They were hustling, weren't they?
Yeah, and
so let's talk about this for a second. So you're telling me you get to the embassy or the consulate, and there's other people applying for a visa as well.
Right.
Right. Oh, yeah. And a lot of people don't know, but especially in DC, but really in the States as well, you generally can't hire somebody locally to assist you with your visa. You probably don't know that. So that's probably what you're getting ready to say. You're probably going to say that there was a lot of people who had a lot of problems the day of their interview. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There was a couple up there, and I was timing them because I had an appointment, and I wasn't seen until about an hour after my appointment. Yeah. But I thought I was going to sit in the room with an interviewer, and they was going to thumb through my stuff, you know, and ask me some questions, and that was how it was going to go. But no, you go to a counter, right? So these people, it might have been about 10 people in the room when I got up in there. And one couple, it was an elderly couple up there, and they was trying to get their visa, and they had most of what they had, but they was at that window for 50 minutes. Right? Yeah, it was 2 people working the windows. So you had they was like in the bank. They had a plexiglass up there, and you talking to somebody through the plexiglass. But that's basically your interview. You know, that's who you're dealing with. And so we went through that process. It took me, like I said, I was about an hour after my appointment, and the thing was, the company that I dealt with the visa, I said, this has got to be overkill. They got me collecting all this stuff. You know, I said, this seemed like overkill. You know, but I said, it's better to have than not have. You know, I mean, they was dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. And you take this with you. I had to go get bank statements 2 days before I went to New York. They told me to get them that within 2 days before I went to New York. And I had to send another letter to my pension, and for them to send it out, because this first appointment that I thought I was going to, and when my appointment actually was, I had to show that I was still getting a pension in between that time. You know, it's like they wanted up to the minute, you know, so I had to have them mail that before time. You had to take a check from the post office, a postal money order for
to pay for it.
$36, and that needed to be in the same month that you was going to your interview, right? All these kind of things, you know, you need to know. And they had me get a cardboard envelope at the post office and self-address it and pay for it for my passport to be sent back to me, because the consulate keeps your passport. That was my biggest concern, because I thought I was coming back to South Africa back at that first appointment. I said, these people are going to have my passport. I said, I might not even do this, you know. But they said it could take up to 4 weeks to get your passport back. And anyway, when I went to that interview, I got the strict, stern woman. It was one woman, she kept coming from back in the back, and she was helping everybody out and all this stuff. They was having all kind of problems. You know, some had to go away. And they got to come back with other stuff and all that. I got this strict, stern woman back there. She never came out from behind that glass.
Yeah, but she saw you.
But I get to her, and, you know, I know after dealing with the company that y'all provide, I know I got to have everything that they, you know, I said, I wasn't too concerned about it. I said, I got to have everything. Like I said, they were dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. So they even had the company said it was something that changed over the summer. So they had like 2 packages in there. And these 69 pages, like she said, the first 4 was instructional pages. I could take them out. But I had 18 pages in there that was like a duplicate of the next section, and both of them was in there, and they had me sign off on both of them. So this woman behind the counter, she started shoving papers back under this little slot, and you know, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, you know. So it was like 18 copies, and I said, man, I'm glad I didn't go to Staples and print all this stuff up at $1.68 a piece. But she was sliding that back, and I'm thinking, well, it's better to, she don't need it than need something that I don't have. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then you're standing there like everyone else. Yeah,
slide it on back here. That's cool. That's cool. And one issue she had, they sent me some copies, right? The company that I dealt with in South Africa. And a couple of them was dark. And they had 4 things that they wanted me to send my copy. But they had 2 things that pertaining to my income. And they came out kind of dark. So one of them looked like this. You know, you copy something, it come out dark looking like that. That woman started scrutinizing that paper, and she acted like she wasn't going to accept it, right? She was looking, she said, well, I can't see this, and why? This should be a better copy. I was like, oh, Lord, have mercy, lady. So, you know, the whole time I'm at the window, I'm pouring on the charm.
Of course.
I'm throwing a little charm in there. She cracked up one side of that mouth a couple of times. She wouldn't lift both of them up and make a full smile, but I got one side of that mouth to crack up a couple of times. But we worked together. And so one of the pages that had a bad copy, I had actually took a better copy. So I gave her that one. I said, oh, yeah, I have another copy, a better copy for this one. I said, that other one, I said, I thought I had a copy for that too, but no. So she went on and highlighted what needed to be highlighted on there. And she put everything together. That was, she just explained that, you know, it'll be looked over by whoever checks them out. And, you know, I will be getting notice, you know, their decision. Everything, you know, when I had a feeling, I said, well, she got everything she needs. She didn't ask for anything that I didn't have, you know. And I said, I have a feeling this ain't going to take that long. You know, I was concerned about that 4 weeks. I said, this is not going to take 4 weeks. And next thing I know, at the end of the whole situation, my passport was back at my door in 11 days. Right? I had gotten notice in 8 days that everything was approved. You now have a visa. And my passport was back at the house. what the visa is, I had no idea what it was. It's actually it's like glued into your, not glued or ever stuck
it's a
into your
sticker that
actual
goes in your
passport.
passport.
Right, and
Yeah,
it's a visa saying that you have, temporary visa for 4 years. Stay in Africa. I guess most people know they have all kind of work visas, digital nomad visas, all kinds of stuff. School visas to go to school, and I guess that's how a lot of people in the U.S. too with visas. But it's a retirement visa. I think it's excellent for somebody who's going to another country. You want to expatriate to another country or something. That retirement visa is excellent start. And they call it easy, but that visa process ain't no joke.
It's funny you say that, Eddie, because obviously we hear a lot of this and we hear a lot of that. Keep in mind that we've been through the process. We've helped a lot of people through the process. Obviously, now you're one of the people that's been through it. There's other people was going through the same process you was going to at the same time while you was going through it as well. Yeah. So I would say, especially those that want to live here, for a full time, or they want to just come and just do their own thing. You gotta your first step should be trying to get that visa. And would you say that it's easy to get? But if you had to do it on your own, do you think it would be easy to get?
Oh, no way. And first thing, I imagine they would tell you everything that you need to have, you should have. I don't know, if you're doing it on your own. I don't know if they got to tell you that you have to have a money order, say for $36. But I don't know if you know that the money order should be in the same month that you're going to your interview. I don't know how, they scrutinize that, that may be the case, maybe not, or that you should provide. I imagine they would send your passport back to you, but the company recommends that you provide this self-addressed envelope, for them to send your passport back to you. Because I imagine as soon as they approve mine, they dropped it right in the envelope and shot it right in the mailbox, or had, the carrier or whoever take it and drop them, right in the mailbox. And that probably helps getting it back quick too, because your passport might sit around there all week. They might send everything out on Friday. You go have somebody, address all these envelopes and all that kind of thing. So I said everything I wanted to avoid. I had enough going on, I didn't want to go through all this with the visa process, so it worked out perfect for me. One thing about that New York, I said, ain't no way I'm driving up to New York. They suggest that you don't go up there and try to park. They say either have somebody drop you off. So I made an adventure out of going up to New York, just like I did. I've been up to New York plenty of times, but I made an adventure out of it, just like I did coming to Africa. When I came to South Africa, I didn't ask y'all no questions about that trip. I just
came,
jumped on the plane. I said, these people say they're going to have these nice accommodations and they're going to have somebody standing there with your name at the airport. I said, well, that's all I really need. A vehicle to take me from the airport and take me where I'm going to be staying. Everything else I ain't worried about. I'm going to make the best out of it. So but, that all worked out. The accommodations, I know we talking about visa, but I'm talking about the accommodations was beautiful, and I looked around for somebody to have my name in the airport. And I said, the first thing, I don't see my name on none of this cardboard. These people standing up there, and the South Africans, they were so nice. Some of them saw me looking around and they said, you need help with something? I said, I'm looking for this group. Should be the Real South Africa. And they said, that's those people right there. I said, well, I looked over. I said, that's Mark and Latasha, who I never met. I said, they actually here. I said, they probably busy somewhere entertaining other people and stuff. I said, they actually here. I said, wonderful. So, after that, everything was great. But I knew y'all was people who, when y'all recommended this company that they helped with your visa, I knew y'all was the kind of people they wasn't going to steer you to no, fly-by-night agency that wasn't going to get things done, So everything worked out beautifully as far as that. It's a relief, because at first I didn't even feel like I needed a visa, but I said, well, why not? I'm sitting around here, waiting to get back to Africa. I said, why not apply for the visa, and have it? say, it's going to be great to have and get it done now, you know. So now it's done, and I have that relief, and I can go there and don't have to leave.
Yeah, as long as you want. Yeah. But you know what's funny with that visa? After 5 years, obviously you will ultimately maybe apply for another one, which is the same visa. You already know you qualify because you already have one. Nothing's really going to change. After 5 years, then you can apply for a permanent residency. So you got to start somewhere. Oh yeah. You know, we got people that's like, oh, I just want to go straight to permanent. And that's a process, and you may not get it because I think a lot of people don't realize that it's really up to the South Africa to even if you meet all the requirements or you think you meet all the requirements, it's really up to them to decide if they're going to allow you to get a residency or not. Right. It's up to them.
Right.
You know, you can go for it.
No, go about that. I had to give them a notarized copy of my passport bio page. That's the page with your picture and your information, everything. They wanted a notarized copy of that, and they wanted a notarized copy of the stamp of when I came to South Africa. I guess they want to know you came and you left before you were supposed to or whatever. And I had to say notarized. I said, why these people need this? They got my doggone passport sitting in front of them with the same thing on it, you know. But I said, this is what they want. This is their country. This is how they want it. So that's what you got to do. You know, give them what they want. So you know, that's what I did.
Well, I tell you this, Ed. Like I said, I'm glad you got it because, like I said, you obviously had a good time, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But here's the funny part. You know, first of all, you applied in South Africa, so that visa doesn't allow you to be a resident in Ghana. It doesn't allow you to be a resident in Uganda. It doesn't allow you to be a resident in Kenya or anywhere else. It's South Africa. That's where you applied. But for some odd reason, because we get a lot of emails. You emailed us plenty of emails. I think some people think, I could just live there. I don't really need a visa. And obviously that's not true. And a lot of people are bumping into that, or they move here with full intention. They sometimes they bring their kids, they bring everything. And then they think they're going to just go into what we like to call here home affairs and just say, hey, I need a visa. I mean, from where you were standing in the interview process and waiting, there were a lot of people trying to get a visa. Am I correct?
Oh yeah.
And within that, there were people who it was pretty clear that they filled out their own paperwork and they got there to their interview. And some people probably came further than you, but they got there for their interview and they didn't have their stuff together. Am I correct?
Right. That's correct.
Okay. I mean, you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was going to look. I didn't get to it, and I was going to see how many missions there actually was in the United States. When you said some might have came further than me, I said it's only going to be so many missions, you know. So you figure you got New York, you probably got something on the West Coast, you got something in Washington where you have the embassy in Washington. So let's say it's 10 missions in the U.S. You know, I have no idea how many, but people got to get from wherever they live at to one of these missions, you know. So some might have traveled a long ways to get up there in New York. I had a woman beside me that went in with me, and she couldn't wait. I believe she was a New Yorker, and we had to leave before she even got to her interview, and she was one person ahead of me. So she might have been working or whatever. And another thing about getting up there to New York, I had looked at it on Google Maps, right? And I said, how am I going to do this? I caught an Amtrak like 6:45 in the morning. And it was very reasonable. I got to New York in about an hour and 10, 15 minutes, right, from Philadelphia. And once I got there and got on the ground, now I'm there at rush hour, right? So I come out of the Amtrak station, I look at my phone, and I check Uber. How much is it going to cost me to go this 2.5 miles to this consulate? $55.
Oh, 55?
$55 was an Uber X. I said, I start hoofing, right? I said, how far am I going to walk? So I seen the guy out in front of a building. I asked him, was there a bus? And he said, on this corner, you can take a bus. That would take me 7 blocks to the number street I needed to get to. So then I asked him, can you use your credit card? He said, yes. I said, fantastic. So that means you can get on the bus and you can just tap your credit card. I said, I'm good to go from here. And the other thing, I got to New York 3 hours ahead of time. I made sure I had plenty of time. So I caught the one bus, and then I had 17 blocks to go up this Third Avenue. Right.
That's a lot
so
of
I just start walking. The buses start passing me. So I stopped one. Are you going to 51st Street? And he said, I'm going up. But he said, but you can't, you can't get on here, right? I don't know. I don't know. So he went on, and then another bus came. I asked this guy. He said, yeah, I'm going to 50th. So I hopped on his bus and I rode on up. Took me a block away from the consulate. So when I got there, I was like, I think I was about 30 minutes early, and he said, well, you can't go up yet. You got to be like within 15 minutes before you can go upstairs. So that's something to know if you're dealing with New York and stuff. So I found a place to go sit down and chill in the building next door. Guy was down there tuning the piano the whole half hour. I was sitting down there driving me crazy. Right? But, I went on back up into the consulate and went on upstairs to my appointment. I talked to a guy downstairs at the desk at the consulate and told him about my adventure getting there and asked him how can I get out of here? He said, oh man, you don't want to take a bus back to the train station. He said, it'll take you 40 minutes in this traffic. He told me the metro was right up the street. So that's the subway. So I went a block up, caught the subway. He said, catch the train downtown. It took me right back to the Amtrak station.
Take the Central Station.
Everything worked out great there. It was just another adventure. And at the end of all that, I got a visa through outreach to South Africa, and the company y'all hooked me up with, and everything worked out. And that was the end game. So
it worked out. Like I said, we hate to see people who really, especially those that came on a tour. Maybe, even if they didn't even come with us, but you should. I hate to hear these stories about people falling short, going through. That I got 2 kids. I'm sitting here trying to get my visa. It's not working. How can you help me? But at this point, they'd already engaged the agents. I mean, the consulate. I mean, you run into a lot of problems. And the reality is, you don't have to. For far as I'm concerned, it reminds me of, like, even if you're going to court for a ticket, sometimes you want to hire a lawyer just so you won't get you won't get a bad deal. So paying your fee, hiring the company, that we vetted would just make your process easy, because I'm sure your application was, when you popped up, you wasn't like looking for paperwork. It was just there. You just basically handed it to them. So do you think having your application squared away really, really helped your application in general?
Oh, absolutely. First, I don't have the setup where I could have printed all this out. They had everything typed up on this application, and, like I said, everything, a package. I had a package, that was professionally done. They had pages and pages that the whole page was crossed out, because you don't need to fill in or answer anything on these pages, So I would be reading through all that page after page after page of all this information, and that was all done, So that made it all worth it to have that professionally done package done up. And I'm sure they probably appreciate that at the consulate, I said, if you scrutinize that little dark copy that I had, so I'm sure they know the company, and they see their stuff and they say, okay,
they know.
Everything probably going to be done proper here, so, we got to look, but we don't have to look like we might have to look at everybody else's package. Somebody that just came in off the street, to do this. So, they were definitely worth it. In the end, like I said, I got a visa. I didn't want to be trying to do all this stuff myself. I have done things like this before, but at this point in time, I said, no, I'm going to let the pros do it. And the pros did it, and everything worked out. And that was the end game. That's all I wanted. I paid my fee, and y'all got it done. Y'all got me through this. you know, and it worked out like it was supposed to. I didn't have to come back with nothing, you know. You have to send this and go back to New York. I might have said, man, I'm gonna squash this whole process. But nah, everything worked out beautifully. So, like I said, that was the end game. I had the visa.
So let me ask you this. So, because some people, I mean, because I'll be honest with you, there are people out there that are like, oh, you know, I want to come, or I want to get a visa, and they ask me, they say, so how much it costs for the consult? They'll literally ask me, and I don't know where they get this from, because we don't advertise or say, hey, it costs you, you know, $100, $200 for the consult. We don't have that. What we do have, if we have, you know, if you're really interested and you're really trying to do it, how much did your consult cost? Do you remember? Just to find out if you
consult didn't cost anything.
Exactly. Just so you know if you even qualify. That's where the consult comes in, and it's free.
Yeah.
So you express your interest. Hey, I'm looking at trying to get a visa like you did. I said, okay, I've already worked it out with our team of people to take care of our people. And and so you just quantify. It matters if you had that consult, because then now you know what you need, or what you or do you actually qualify. And they will actually tell you, okay, well, you might not qualify, but you need to do this, or you might be looking for one visa, but you might really need to be on this visa. They would let you know.
Right. Because like I said, I would have, if I was doing it myself, I would have started out with the permanent visa. You know, I would have started with that, and then I might have got partially in it, or at some point down in it, and find out this might not be what you want to be going for, you know, at this time. So, you know, the consular suggested that, you know, I start with the retirement visa. And I,
that's that. I mean, a temporary resident visa is much simpler process. And they're more willing, because what happens is, for example, let's say you come here. Let's say you move here, or you just keep going back and forth on that temporary visa. Now they know that, you know, you're a good guy. Here you are, you did your time. They got a chance to, they see you. Right. And then so when it's time to apply for another one, they're like, oh, no problem. Or if you're looking at trying to move on to a permanent visa, then they have a track record. But if they don't know you for nothing, they're not going to just say, hey, you know, just because you want to move to South Africa, hey, come on, let's come be a permanent resident, because a permanent resident has almost identical access to South Africa like a citizen. So they're just not going to give you a citizenship or a permanent residency just because you want it. You got, I mean, there is a process for all this, and that's something that I try to tell people, that people they just want it. And trust me, when I was going for mine, I just wanted it, but I had to back it up a little bit and realize that there's an actual process that the Republic of South Africa has. Let me follow it. Let me just go down this road. And at some point, you know, it might not be when you want it, but it will happen. And then you can just say the same thing you've been saying. I got a visa.
End game. And you know, I had jumped on some people early on at the agency, right? Now, you know, what are y'all doing? What am I paying for? You know, and then, like I said, they jumped on the process. They was on me every day. And at the end,
you let me know, because you let me know, and I sent them a message.
Okay, and they in the end, after I got the visa, I heard from everybody. You know, the guy who I was working with the whole time, congratulations, I'm glad you got your visa in such a speedy amount of time and everything, and that was great. And I sent him praises, you know, for everything that he did. And I heard from the counselor. She sent email saying, oh, I'm so glad you got your visa, and you know, in that a quick amount of time and everything. And I sent her an email telling her, okay, well, now I'm ready for that permanent visa. Like, okay, we can get started, you know. And I'm like, well, I don't know the process. I would have to talk to her and see, you know, what the process is. But I knew that once I got that visa, like you just said, it's like they know me. This guy already provided everything that he needed provided, and we found out, okay, he's cool, so to speak. You know, we can let him on in and let him stay a minute. You know, so
you know, we won't run him up out of here. We'll keep him
So yeah, everything worked out. Worked out great. It worked out as I hoped and kind of expected. When you pay for something. So
yeah, you
that
should
was
get it.
pretty much it. That was pretty much it. Yeah.
Right.
I started to book on your next real estate tour. That's something else I wanted to tell
Oh,
you.
you're not the only one. There's I think 3 people who came on the last
Oh
one
yeah.
who's
Okay.
they'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, I know this guy that was on in our van. He had been there the year before. He was at the first one. But the
Yeah.
thing that was getting me when I was on that second real estate tour, you and Latasha was saying, we don't know if we're going to do another one and all that. And the whole time I was sitting there saying, y'all having another one. Y'all don't know it yet. I said, these developers and these agents and everybody is going to be trying to employ y'all to do another real estate tour, especially with people buying real estate that was on that tour. I said, everybody involved, I guess the restaurants, everybody, y'all need to keep doing this. Y'all, the country clubs, everybody, y'all need to keep doing this. Y'all need to keep having these tours, I didn't want to take up a space from somebody else, that would be new to the real estate tour. That's one reason why I didn't book another one. But I'll be there around that time. I'll be there. A few of us are going to be there around that time when y'all have that new real estate tour.
But now, so it'd be all the newbies, the new.
Yeah. Like y'all had Ronnie and Maddie at the one before. I said they'll be like an alumni. Everybody will be an alumni, so to speak. But it's nice stuff. We had people that was on that tour to hook up with. Like when I come back to South Africa, I have people there that I met before. That was on that tour, and we'll be hooking up.
But tell people how crazy it was. We actually, I mean, I'm going to say I think we did a good job overall. At least I think so. I got a lot of good feedback. But as far as the tour itself and really just being in South Africa and meeting the people that you met, can you expound on that? Because I'm sure you met some cool people.
Oh, absolutely. And they was people, like I said, there's people I'm in communication with now from that tour. We're talking all the time. We're on WhatsApp that Tasha set up for me. Now, that first day, I missed the whole information at the Legacy, that first day of the real estate tour, because I was supposed to put WhatsApp on my phone. And that's stuff that, I shied away from. They want to know all your contacts and all that, so I never put the WhatsApp in my phone. And so that next day, y'all went to the Legacy to meet with developers and people who had moved to South Africa and everything. I didn't know nothing about it because I didn't have the WhatsApp in my phone. So while y'all was at that meeting, I'm walking around in the Sandton Mall and I'm, oh, wow. Like I'm in Disneyland. I'm walking around looking at everything, went out in Mandela Square and all that. So then Tasha found me. I was back at the hotel, and first he said, well, you was in the wrong hotel, first of all. Right?
Yeah, you was. Yeah.
And that's another thing. I was on, I got in the van. I said, get in this van. So I got in this van and everybody got out this hotel. I got out with them. So I'm standing at the counter where everybody's checking in. And I said, well, I'm a guest here too. And they didn't know nothing about me. But then they had a list and I looked at the list. My name was on the list. But my name was under somebody named Michelangelo, right? So I said, well, anyway, these people.
That's the hotel you should have been in.
I'm under, I said, there's Michelangelo and there's me, and we supposed to be here too.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so these people put me in a room. They didn't know what to do.
They know you with us.
Yeah,
they know you in real South Africa. They're gonna take care of you. So they know you with us, and that's even for our regular tours. Not say regular tours. When people come, people don't realize that a lot of things are happening for them because they're with us.
Okay, they hooked me up, man. I had this beautiful place. I was like, oh my goodness. I was looking for a hotel room. I said, this joint is gorgeous, right? So I stayed that night. So that next day, after Latasha told me, first of all, I came over there. I did get something to eat and missed all the information over there. You know, so I wasn't concerned about that because I still learned everything I needed to learn.
Yeah, you
But
pick it up along the way.
yeah, but the next day they sent me to the other hotel that I was supposed to be in, and I'm comparing the two, and I'm saying, boy, which one is best, right? And I think the one that I was actually supposed to be in was better because it had a balcony overlooking, you know, one direction of the city and all, you know, and had a bathroom and a powder room. I said, oh my goodness. So yeah, that was great. It was great. Yeah, everything worked out. That tour was beautiful. You know, there's some other places I'm gonna get to because I'm gonna have a base in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna spread out like some of those tours y'all have. You know, I'm gonna get over to Durban and Cape Town and move on up to the Africans have different names for them. I gotta write them down. What they call Victoria Falls. Africans say,
Yeah. You know what? It's I can't even say it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna spread out there. I actually got a neighbor that moved in from Mozambique, no, Zimbabwe. And, yeah, Zimbabwe. So she was telling me places like Victoria Falls and another place she named in there I need to check out. You know?
Yeah.
So that's my plan. Once I get there and get settled in, move around.
Yeah, it's a big country. It's a lot here. I tell her people for some odd reason think it's like and maybe and I'm only guessing because I know you know, like Jay Cameron, we work with him and whatnot, and he does Ghana a lot. He tells me a lot. I look it up, and Ghana is kind of small in size, especially compared to South Africa. I think we're the 24th or the 27th largest country in the world. And there's a lot to do here. There's so many places to go, and people are like, y'all guys are always traveling, like always. I'm like, yes, because there's so many places to go, so much to do, and it's easy to get to. The scenery is good. The food is always amazing, and everywhere you're going to go is just different. So you can almost, I mean, it's very difficult to get bored here in South Africa, and that's what you're going to find out. And having that visa is going to give you that type of access to be able to do these things. So, hey, man, you got it. You on your way.
Yeah, and two things that's great. Like all the content creators that I've been following, if I look back into the videos on YouTube, I see y'all at some point y'all have all met each other. Y'all have all interviewed with each other, like Wouter Meyer and like you said, Jay Cameron and Ashley in Africa. I said at some point all y'all folks been together and you all networked. The Jones family, I think they came back to the US, but they was out there big time doing all kind of stuff. They had a video with a real estate agent on there, and that was about a 50-minute video. And he covered everything you need to know about buying property in South Africa. It was great information. But that's like you said, it's a big country. You know, it's a lot to check out. And I'm going to be there and check out what I can and do it. I'm going to do it early because my butt is old. So,
oh, man, come on, man. Your mom made it in 90, man. Shit, you probably got a long bloodline. You good.
I'm going to do it early, And I can't wait to get back out there and get back out there with my visa. And they also told me what to do. The agency, they said, when I come back into South Africa, make sure that the immigration officer write a date. We'll see that, but write a date into it, right? That it expires. And
like in 20 for you, it'd be 2028.
Yeah, right. And that's not something that you know, I would have known to say, do you need to write a date in here? Something like that. That's all little information you get along with that. And they keep up on you, so they say they'll inform you when, you know, say when it's getting near time that your visa is going to expire. That they get in touch with you. Okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. You know, so that's all what you're paying for, really.
Yeah, and that's why you know, it gets a little frustrating on my end because everybody feel like it's like a hook to get a visa, or who do you know, and all these different little things. And unfortunately, I've been here long enough. You know, I'm going on 7 years now, that I've seen a lot of people fall short of glory. And when you try to get them to go down the road they want to go or they need to go, they end up diverting because somebody told them something. And then those people can't can't stand behind what they said.
Yeah.
You know, so like for example, the company that you know that we contract with, you know, I do understand the Immigration Act. I mean, I didn't just start this last week of 2002. So I truly understand it. So we had that conversation, me and the company. We went back and forth. I'm like, okay, what about this? And they had a resolution. There are other companies and other people. I'll be honest with you, they do a lot of talking, because when you start challenging them, because they, like, for example, you don't know, but I know. I trust me, I know. And yeah, they will say whatever they got to do to get you involved with their process, and then they fall off because now you don't pay them, you don't gave them the money, and then they don't fell off a little bit, and there's no real checks and balances. Then you're in the United States, there might be on this side, but there's somebody who's here that can hold them accountable.
Yeah,
we just happen to be here, and I can't just work with any company. I work with ones that are reputable, that are doing really good work. They got a reputation, and it's easy for me to chat with a high court judge and say, who do you know who works very well in the immigration process? And they will drop a quick name, and here we are. And that's why you're sitting on a visa.
Yeah, because they like everything that they have you gather up, the company, they want a copy of it. They want to see what you're going to be taking to New York. And they say, okay, you need to get this, then they want a copy of that. And you need to get this, they want a copy of that. So they know everything that you've taken to this interview, you know, when you go to New York. And like I say, I paid my money and I want to walk out approved. Well, not approved, but after they scrutinize everything that I sent them, I want approval. You know, that's what I'm paying for. And the company, there could be glitches, I'm sure, you know, but it is very highly unlikely that you're not going to get approved after you go. They see everything that you've taken, you know, to this window, and they know you have everything that you need to go to this window, you know. So it ain't likely you're not going to get approved, you know. So that's my point. That's what they do, you know. That's what they great. That's where they was great, you know, taking care of that. And I came from there and got my notice. You are approved, you know.
It feels good. I remember a long time ago, I got mine. I was so happy. I was like, shoot, now I could just stay as long as I want. You know what? I'm moving. I think I got it in early January, and I moved in August, September timeframe, 2018, and I haven't looked back. In regards to that. So
and stuff like that. I always felt like, you know, if it's something I just got to answer questions, you know, and all that, I can do that. You know, I did stuff like that before. And he was even saying about lawyers. I had so many cases that I've been through pro se, they call it, where you either represent yourself, you know, or you go to cases without an attorney. I wouldn't try that in no criminal case. I always had the city trying to sue me, or me suing the city, and all kinds of stuff, all kind of stuff like that. But I've been through a whole heap of cases where, you know, I had to provide all kind of stuff and evidence and stuff. I even had a case where I got to cross-examine the witness on the stand. And that worked out, you know, the whole case worked out. So I'm used to trying to do stuff myself and taking care of stuff myself, you know. But in this visa process, and like I said too, now I just other stuff I didn't need to be bothered with trying to get all this stuff and coming out with failure in the end, you know. I seen a couple on YouTube. They was younger and they was applying for a retirement visa in South Africa, but at first it didn't work out, and they was doing it themselves, but they was only in their 40s. So they was thinking maybe because of their age, they didn't approve them for a retirement visa. And I think in the end it worked out for them, but they went through this long, terrible process. And they probably was back and forth to whatever interviews and all kinds of stuff, you know. So I didn't want to get into none of that, and everything worked out.
Excellent. Excuse me. So like I said, I'm glad you got your stuff, and I'm sure everybody's happy that you told this, telling your story, and hopefully there's a lot of us who want to put their applications in and find themselves in South Africa, because I think, just like the tours are great, and it gives you a real good idea. Because for me, I always tell people, come on the tour, because then it makes sense if you want to move here because of what we show you. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just simple.
I got a lot of people interested. I got those, I say the next generation, so like second cousins, and a buddy of mine had a barbecue back right after Labor Day, and I was talking to his daughter. His daughter was talking to me about 40 minutes. Her and her husband wanted to come to Africa. And I was telling them South Africa, the place. I always felt like Johannesburg is for the old heads, and maybe like a Nairobi, Kenya is for the young folks, She's about at that line, upper 30s, so I was saying you can swing over to either one, you can go to Kenya, or you can go to Johannesburg, or I say, but you're going to love South Africa, So they all interested.
Sorry.
And that's another thing I'm setting up too, is like for, I got nieces and nephews, and I want to get them looking beyond the shores, of the United States. I'm going to have somewhere for them to go, where they can go out into Africa. We was just talking, and a couple of them already have their passports, and we can, y'all can go out and see the world, and have a place to go in Africa and work out from there.
Well, I'll tell you, once it starts, it's never going to stop, especially when people don't have this high regard for Africa, which, I think sometimes South Africans don't understand that on our side, there is no high regard for South Africa or Africa in general. And then number two, there's no reason for us to look at Africa as the destination. There's no reason. I mean, the way things are set up in America, there's no reason to look at Africa as a proper destination, but it really is a proper destination. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I always believed, me and a guy was at work years ago, and he was a guy from down in Alabama, and he never really been anywhere back and forth down south and back, and I had been a lot of places around the Caribbean and all, but anyway, we were sitting around talking, and they was talking about they always showing you the African children and flies all in the eyes and stuff and all that. And of course, there's been famine and, there's hardship and all that, you understand. But him and me, the people we was talking to, we was laughing, not laughing at that situation, or the people's misfortune, but just laughing at the fact that that's all they show you. I had never been to Africa, but I remember maybe about 40 years ago, I remember Louis Farrakhan went to Africa, and Jesse Jackson went to Africa, and both of them say Africa is doing fine. They doing fine, and that's who I believe. That's who I believe. I don't care what I heard on the media or what they said about Africa or what they showed you on TV. I'm sure that's happening, but I believe what they said. That Africa is doing fine, and when I got there, oh man, much better than most people anticipate. Most better than people even imagine. I mean, they put us to shame in so many ways.
Exactly. And that's why I be wanting my South African friends, on this side, to understand that they really do got it going on. They don't know, and they obviously think that America is better in almost every way, and the reality is it's not. But that's what they want to believe, and they'll figure it out as they travel to America and whatnot, or they keep hearing Americans come here and they say, "Wow, it's really nice here." I'm shocked. So here we are.
Yep, I'm just telling people you need to see. Everybody out there, you need to see. You need to see. Yeah.
Okay, bro. But look, I really appreciate you coming on, letting everybody know what's happening. And of course, you know, when you get here, if we got the real estate tour going, it's going to be some newbies who are going to be looking at houses saying, man, this is crazy, just like y'all did.
I couldn't
And yeah, so and definitely reach out to us. And like I said, we try to get you guys to come out, meet the new guys and whatnot. You know, they're going to be, those people are going to be taken aback like they always are. So, all right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you. And I'll be looking forward to seeing y'all. Tell the missus I said hello. And
absolutely.
Catch y'all soon.
All right, bro. Thanks.
Take care.
All right, guys. So as y'all see, Eddie, he did very well. He's not the only one. There's plenty of people who's been through the process and got themselves organized enough so they can come live in South Africa. And a lot of people are willing to do that. All I can say to you is if you look at the genesis of all of this, some people had no real intentions of coming to South Africa, but they came as a tourist. They literally came here as a tourist and they saw it for themselves. So that trip that you come on, you need to come here and literally see what's available. You know, feel it, touch it, do all the great and wonderful things. And I promise you, you know, either you will continue to come here as a tourist, which is great, or you might actually think about moving everything around. Excuse me. Moving everything around in your life so you can actually, you know, make South Africa your home or somewhere in Africa. And, you know, it is what it is. And then lastly, I'm going to say this, you know, I understand that, you know, we had the year to return and all that in Ghana, and I'm not hating on Ghana at all. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they're exposing so many of us to Africa, and maybe they started the whole thing and I don't even know it. But I will tell you this, you know, I don't think there's too many scenarios or any scenario where you get to just pick up your stuff, leave America, and settle in a country without being accounted for. And that's what the visa is. So all I can say is I will see you guys here in sunny South Africa. South Africa, we do nothing but tourism, and everything that we do is based in South Africa, almost. A lot of you guys realize that we did go to, where did we go? We went to Victoria Falls, and we had an amazing experience. We got an opportunity to talk to the owner of the location that we really like, and we know that you guys are gonna like too. So I'm gonna put that information Actually, I'm gonna put our little interview we did with her with this as well, so you guys can check that out. But at the same time, we did a lot of stuff there, and what we want to bring to you is our opportunity to fly over the falls. I'm gonna put that video together, so look at it pretty close. Now, the good part about all of this, so obviously we got great packages coming to Joburg, Cape Town, Durban. We also got great packages going to Safari out in Kruger National Park and all of that. The good part about all of it is that when you guys decide to say, you know what, I want to do what the Blantons did, I want to do what Real South Africa does, then you could pick your Johannesburg package, your Cape Town package, your Durban package, and at the same time, you can actually scroll down a little bit further, click where you see Victoria Falls, and then we will add 4 more days to your trip. So if you're coming for a 6-day to Johannesburg and you're like, I want to go to Victoria Falls, now you got a 10-day package, and you can book all of this on the website, therealsouthafrica.com. So we're making it easy for people to travel to South Africa. We're making it easy for people to go to Victoria Falls. We just want to make it easy for you and so forth. So all I can say is we'll see you guys here in sunny South Africa. All right, guys, this is Mark Edward Blanton from the Real South Africa. And guess what? Our visa services is back. We're going to be helping you guys with visas because we all know that it can be problematic to get a visa here in the Republic of South Africa. So what we have done, we partnered with a big company that will assist us, and we've checked them out. We recommend that their services are very, very proper. Of course, we go with proper here in the Republic of South Africa, and they can assist you. So if you have questions about, do I qualify for a visa? Then that's when we have our consult. You get a consult with these guys. They will literally go through everything with you. And my expectations is for you to ask all the questions that you need to ask so you will know exactly which way to proceed. So they work in every arena of immigrations. So it would definitely help us who are looking to migrate to the Republic of South Africa. And all I can say is first, come on a trip, of course. And once you come on a trip, then you will be motivated to do all the work that needs to happen for you guys to come to South Africa properly. So all I can say is this is a great team. This is a great situation. All I can say is, again, reach out to us at outreach@therealsouthafrica.com. We will respond to you, and then you'll get an email, and then the process has began. Okay, so we will see you guys here properly in sunny South Africa. Do yourself a favor, come to South Africa, come to the Kruger, and enjoy what is meant for you to enjoy. Look at this environment. Can't you see yourself enjoying yourself right here with the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism? Well, we can make it possible, and we could do this for you today. Go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com, and book, and you'll be part of something like this, something very special, something you can tell your friends and families that you did. And yes, this is Africa. This is the Africa that they do not want you to see, but we're going to show it to you, and we're going to make it available. And yes, we've been there ourselves, and we feel that this is the best experience that you can actually have here in the Republic of South Africa. So come here on safari with us. And of course, visit our website, therealsouthafrica.com. You have reached the Real South Africa, and we are your travel and tourism company based here in South Africa. And of course, we are always talking about safari lodges. They are one of the best places to go to, and you're going to be able to experience it with us. As you see, going on safari is absolutely exhilarating. But in this case, we always do 5-star safari lodges. And in this case, it is no different. This one right here is very, very special because this is built on a train, and this is the only one in the entire world. It is located in Kruger National Park, and we want you guys to come to experience this 5-star opulent experience. It is amazing. I can't explain it to you any better than what you're seeing here all you need to do is reach out to us at therealsouthafrica.com. And then, of course, you can go ahead and click on Kruger on one of the tabs or contact us via email. But as you see, the food is amazing, everything is nice, and this is what you deserve. So let's go ahead and make this a normal event for yourself and come to South Africa. You will be amazed. All right, guys, welcome to The Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. We are a travel company based in Johannesburg. However, we can get you to Durban because look at what you're looking at. Isn't that amazing? Can't you imagine yourself just hanging out here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days? I'm trying to tell you, you're probably not going to want to leave like a lot of our guests from the past. However, all you have to do to come here is reach out to our website, therealsouthafrica.com, and you can come and enjoy and see what South Africa is really about. There's so much here, so much to do between the beaches, between the culture, between the food and everything else. And of course, the people here in South Africa in this place called Durban. We will see you here in sunny South Africa.
Spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things